Tamara from ohlardy.com, and today I'm going to tell you my quick start guide to fermenting vegetables. I teach a lot of classes on fermentation, and I always give my students a one-page, easy-peasy guide that will allow you to ferment any vegetable you want. You need a couple of things. You need a container. I like to use wide mouth mason jars. I think they're the easiest to work with. I have a bunch of them, and they're fairly inexpensive. Funnel is optional. I find it easy to transfer the food. So I have my container. Then you need the vegetable or vegetables you're going to ferment. In this case, I'm going to do carrots. I've just taken organic carrots. I just washed them really well, and I cut them into little wedges. They could be in sticks. Even organic baby carrots works beautifully. So this is the food I'm going to ferment. And this is just for the guide. This could be any vegetable. You could have Brussels sprouts, green beans, asparagus, shredded cabbage, and peppers, and kale, and zucchini. Really anything can be fermented. I'm also going to add some spices. I have dill, garlic, and black pepper here. So any spices that you're going to add, you would put them in there. Okay. I'm going to kind of jam that dill in there so it doesn't stick up. And I'm always working with clean hands. I washed my hands just before this. Definitely want clean hands when you're fermenting. Really, when you're doing anything in the kitchen. So you have your container and you have the vegetables you're going to ferment. Now you need to add a little bit of salt. I like to use about a teaspoon of salt per quart-sized jar. That's just my guideline. Some people use more, some people use less, but you're going to add salt. Now a starter culture. Some people like to use a starter culture, some don't. I prefer to use a starter culture. A starter is essentially, it's a product that adds a good bacteria to the mixture, so the fermentation is more likely to be successful. Two options that are my favorites are liquid whey. You can buy whey sometimes from a dairy farmer, or it's just the liquid from your yogurt. So if you get plain yogurt and strain it, the liquid that comes out will be whey. Or Body Ecology Culture Starter is probably my favorite culture starter. It comes in little packets, and I kind of go between either or. So if you're going to use the packets of culture starter, I like to use half a teaspoon. It's a powder, half a teaspoon in a quart. If you're going to use whey, I like to use 2 tablespoons. So you have your container, the vegetable, salt. Now we're going to do the starter culture. I'm going to use whey for this example. So 2 tablespoons of whey, does not have to be exact. 2 tablespoons of whey. Now you're going to use filtered water, and you're going to fill it up, leaving about an inch or so of space. Perfect. I left about an 1.5 inches of space, which as the gases build up during fermentation, it'll leave enough room for expansion. If you need to, you can use a weight, a glass weight, to weigh down the vegetables. You can buy them on Amazon. Fermentation weights is what they're called. Weigh it down, put the lid on, and leave that at room temperature for 5 to 7 days, and it'll start to bubble and get a little cloudy and be fermented. So that is a guide for any fermented vegetable. Container, vegetable, salt, starter culture if you're using it, and fill it with water, leaving some space, cap it, and leave it room temperature. That's it, easy peasy. That's your quick start guide to fermenting vegetables. Happy fermenting.